Hello and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. Today we're making this really cool creepy alien security camera thing. Let's get started. If you want to get this project file, you can get this project file right now if you join Patreon at the second tier and up. But act quickly because it won't last. It's going to go away. I roll these things out. So get in now while you can if you want this project file. Special thanks to everyone who's a supporter on Patreon and everyone that supports this channel on YouTube. Really appreciate all of you. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is hit A to select all and X to delete. And I'm going to make the eye first, I think. So I'm going to go Shift A and I'm going to create a cylinder. I'm going to go into edit mode with tab and then R to rotate, X and 90. That's going to rotate the cylinder 90 degrees on the X. I'll delete this front face. So go to face mode, select the faces and we'll delete those. Let me come up here to the top. I grab the topmost center edge like this. And I'm going to turn on proportional editing and I will hit G to grab and Y. And that's going to slide this thing forward. There we go. That looks kind of cool. I do the same thing down here. Grab these two and G, Y back a little bit. Let's do the side ones like that and G, Y, but roll the mouse wheel down. Just bring that in a little bit like this. I'm going to hit Control R to create a loop cut. And I will create one right here in the middle. And I'm going to straighten it up. So I'm going to hit S, Y. Actually, I'll turn off proportional editing. Scale for S. And Y to lock it on the S. You can see as I get closer and closer to 0, it straightens up. So if I just hit 0, it will kind of flatten that whole thing. Now I can hit Control B to bevel and just pull my mouse out. And that will split that edge. And now I can hit E and S. And that will scale it in. So now I've got this cool kind of inset bit. It looks really nice. I might create some panels here on the side like so. So I'm going to select all these and hit I to inset and go in a little bit like that. And then E and X and come out. It's pretty cool. Might go out of edit mode, right click and shade auto smooth. That'll be good. And then let's come over here. We'll do the same thing on this side. We'll just hit I to inset, go in a little bit, and then X and come out a touch. And let's see, let's come up here to the top. Let's create some detail up here as well. I'm going to hit I to inset, go in a little bit, and then E and Z, and we'll come up just like so. All right, great. This is looking really cool. Now what I want to do is I want to create the inner lens area. We also need to have some thickness to this thing. I think the way I want to do that is I'm going to go to edge mode and I'll hold down Alt, click this edge like so. And then I'm going to hit E to extrude and then S to scale and just go in a little bit. And now I can create some thickness. Now I'll hit E and Y and pull it back. And that edge is a bit too big, but that's all right. We can fix that up. I'll just bring this all the way back. I might scale Y 0 just to straighten it out and grab Y and then might bring it so it's in line here with this group. Then what I can do is hold down Alt and select this edge and hit E and S. Bring that in. And now what I can do is hold this. With that one selected, I can hold down Alt, Shift, and click that. Now I've got both of those. And now I can connect this up, right? So I can go F3, Bridge, Edge, Loops. And that will connect all that stuff there. All right, now we just need to fix this up. I'm going to go to face mode and hold down Alt to grab that group of faces and just scale them up till they no longer intersect. And yeah, that still looks fine. That's really good. This gives me what I want. All right, this is looking cool. All right, now let's create a lens for this front section and then we'll create some sort of interior elements. All right, so what I'll do, I want my lens to be, I want it to be circular. I don't want it to be this odd shape. So I'm going to pick an edge loop that's circular. So like this one here. And I will Shift D to duplicate. And then, so now I've got a separate group of edges. And I'm going to hit P to separate by selection. That makes it a new object over here. Now what I can do with this new object is I can grab Y and bring it forward. And then we're going to go into edit mode, hit A to select all. And then we're going to hit, let's try grid fill. So I'm going to hit F3 and type in grid fill. And that will fill this thing with faces. Now let me change the offset so it's straight up and down. Just have a look at simple banding. I think simple banding is going to be better. Now we'll keep it like this. I think this works. I'm going to go to vertex mode. I'll grab the centermost vertex and turn on proportional editing and grab Y. And I'll roll my mouse wheel to get all of it. And I'm just going to bring this forward so it has some curvature to it. Oh, that's cool. That looks like a nice lens there. I'm going to shade smooth on that lens. And I might add a sub D on this. So I'm just click add modifier, hit S, and click subdivision surface. That's pretty good. And now there's probably going to be a bit of housing on this thing. So let's go to this. Back in this mesh, what we can do is hit Control R to create a loop cut inside here. And I'll just bring it forward, and then I'll hit S. Come back here, and actually I'll double tap G and slide it back until it's right in line with this. Is what's happening. Let me just go to transparent mode so you can see. Double tap G will slide it back until we hit this point, and you can see it changes its shape the whole way until it matches that shape. Now they're lined up with each other, and I can hit G and Y and just slide it forward normally, and that will give me what I'm after, which is to have a little bit of an edge lip for this lens, like a connection for it. So I'm going to hit Control B to bevel this and go out just a little bit, and then E and S and come in just a little bit. Now if I turn off X-ray mode, you can see it worked really well. So now we've got this little lip for the eye. All right, so I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to add in a bevel modifier, and I will just keep it set to angle. I'll set it to 2 segments, maybe 3. Really pump it up. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to add in a subdivision surface modifier that will smooth out these edges here. Come down, I might crank it up to 2. Looks good. All right, now what we're going to do is put some stuff inside this and hopefully get some cool refraction out of this lens. So what I'm going to do is go Shift A, Mesh UV Sphere, and I'm going to right click Shade Smooth, scale it down, and grab it on the Y. And I want it to be right up close to this. And then what I might do is create another cylinder. So create the cylinder and go into edit mode, rotate X 90 degrees, go to face mode, and delete the front and back faces, X, and then select all and scale it down. And I want it to kind of just be around that sphere, back a bit, and then E and S. And then let's see, scale Y. Let's bring that Y in a little bit so it doesn't expand out too much. And I might leave it like that. I'm not sure how much we're going to need, but I'm thinking, actually, I might just do one more tier. So inset with I, and then E and S, and bring this out, and then S and Y, and bring that in. So that should give me a little bit of extra stuff to see in there. And with this individual bit, let me just hit backslash on my number keypad. That will isolate this selection. Let me go into edit mode and then rotate X 90. And then let's go into vertex mode. Select that one and hit Control plus twice to get out, to select all that stuff. And then we're going to E and Y, and then E and Y again. And then E and Y one more time. And it should be good. Maybe E and scale, grab Y, scale, grab Y, push it back. Create like a large interior area. Like Control R, create another loop cut here and just bring it right to that edge. Yep. Okay, I'll hit the backslash key again. That will bring me back to everything. And then with this guy, I might auto smooth as well. Okay, now let's think about what the arm is going to look like. It's going to attach back here. I think I'm going to use a curve for this. So I'm going to go Shift A, curve, Bezier curve, grab it on the Y, go into edit mode, and I'm going to rotate Z 90 degrees. I'll grab this one, rotate Z a little bit, and grab Y. I'm just going to place it right inside here. Now this one, I'm going to grab up and rotate down, and then scale it so I get the curve traveling down like this. I'll grab this one and scale this one out. Then I might E and Z and Y. We've got this creepy kind of snaky motion. There we go. Really bring that right out. That could be kind of cool. And like this one needs to be a bit straighter going into it. So I might do this with it. There we go. All right, now let's take this curve and I'm going to come down to the geometry tab. So go to the curve tab itself, then open up the geometry dropdown. And we're going to come down here to depth and we're just going to expand that depth out until it starts to kind of line up with the size of our overall thing, shape, whatever. That's pretty cool. All right. Now, what I'd like to have is some kind of like metallic plating that kind of follows this surface. And we could use something like this, like it's a repeating shape. In fact, I like the way this curves. I'm thinking it'd be nice if there was like a piece that fit in the same way. So I might Shift D to duplicate this cylinder and then go into edit mode. And I'll hold down Alt and I'll select, I'll go to edge mode, or actually I'll go to face mode. Hold down Alt and click this front face and then Control plus this selection just to expand it out until I get to here. I'm going to hit X to delete all those faces. And now I just have this component like this. I'm going to hit backslash again just to hide and isolate this selection. And I'm going to go into edit mode, select all, and then Shift D and Y and pull it back like this. I might also get rid of the bevel and the subdivision on this just so it's a bit more responsive. And then what I want to do is I'm going to grab the faces that are on the inside that kind of line up with this bit. So I'll grab those two and those two right there. I'll turn on proportional editing again and then grab Y. And now I want to do this without affecting the other one. So what I'll do is, but what we could do is move this one way over here. Now if I look back in that orthographic view, you can see it like we want it. Okay, cool. So I'll once again grab these faces, pop, 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 back to the orthographic side view, turn on proportional editing. Now I can play with this thing and get it to fit. I'm just looking for an even gap. Cool. All right, I think that works. Great. All right, so this piece is going to be what we're after, right? So I'll hit L. Actually, I'll just delete this one. I don't need this anymore. So L to select linked, and then X to delete. And now the origin's way off over there, so I just need to go object, set origin, geometry to origin. I'll bring the geometry back over to here. And then I can hit backslash on my number keypad to unhide that. And then what I'm thinking is we get this thing to follow the curve and we use an array modifier with it. So let's grab an array. And I want to go back on the Y and make a couple of these. And then let's have this thing follow the curve. So if we grab a curve modifier, I can select this curve. And the deform axis is going to be Y. Yeah. Is that the right Y though? Should be negative Y. Yeah, negative Y. I think is good. Now I can move this thing around and it will slide. Maybe if I go into edit mode, rotate X 180, just flip the whole thing around. There we go. That's cool. Nice. Now maybe this section is a little smaller. So I'm going to scale it down a little bit. And then I might take the curve and also bring it down. And what's cool about this is that if I change the curve, select the curve, that will go with it. Let's put some materials on this and get this thing working. So I'm going to switch over to Eevee to go to rendered view. I'm going to turn off scene world so I've got an HDRI to work with. And I'm going to bring up my shader editor. Because it's such a tall and long object, I might split my view like this and make this the shader editor. And we'll start over here with these bits. So this section, I'm going to click new to create a new material on it. And I'm going to turn metallic up. I'm also going to go over to my render settings real quick, and I'm going to turn on ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflections. Cool. I'm also going to turn off all the like widgets and transforms and stuff just so we can see it really clearly. And let's see, I might give it a bit of a darker color. and make it quite shiny. It's pretty good. I will call this metal, and I will assign it to this guy as well. So I'll go to the material tab and select metal. And the Bezier curve, I'll put new, I'll create a new thing on it. I will make it metallic, but I'm going to make this one really dark, really shiny. And we'll put some kind of cool repeating bump map on that, I think. Right. Now, this lens, I'm going to select the lens, create a new material, call this my lens. And this one's going to be special because it needs to be transparent. So we're going to go to the Options tab. So if you go into the materials, go to the little pop-out menu, click on it, click Options. We're going to go Blend Mode. We switch from opaque to alpha hashed. Same with the shadow. And then right here under Refraction, we're going to take Screen Space Refraction. That's really important. This is for Eevee specifically. If you go to Cycles, it's going to work just normally, but these extra settings have to be turned on for it to work in Eevee. I'm going to go to the Render tab, and I'll go to the Screen Space Reflections, and I'll turn on Refraction. Okay, so now that we've done all that, we can go to the Transmission tab on the Principled BSDF and turn the weight up. The higher this weight goes, the more transparent it's going to get. All right, and we bring the roughness down as well. Now we get this cool lensing effect. Now, I think the lens needs a little bit of thickness for it to properly work. So let's go back into edit mode, hit A, and I'm going to hit E to extrude and Y, and I'll move it back a little bit on the Y, and then I might even scale it on the Y as well without proportional editing turned on. And that is going to allow this thing to kind of be a bit more of a lens. So if I scale Y and then grab Y like this, that should give me a bit more what I'm after. All right. Now we can give it some color. And if we turn the roughness up a little bit, the more the roughness goes up, the more foggy it will become, which I don't know that we want. Bring this down maybe a bit. And then I'm thinking we take this internal thing. So let's see. I'm going to grab the sphere, and we're going to create a new material for the sphere. I'm going to give it a really dark material, maybe even a metallic. So turn that right up. And then what I'll do is I will come in here into edit mode, go to vertex mode, grab that center vertex and Control plus to select this whole interior area. And then come to the material tab up here, click plus to create a new slot, and then new to create a new material, and then assign to assign that material to the selected faces. And now with this material, we can make this kind of a glowy red. That. Yep. Now, the bloom is never going to go through the lens, so I'll set to 10 or something. And then what I might do is Shift S cursor to selected. That'll put the cursor right there inside the ball, and then Shift A, and then we're going to create a point light and grab it forward. I'll make this point light red as well, and then turn this one right up, and this should help us a little bit with everything. And then we've got the other cylinder object, which is in here, and I might just assign the same material. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a bump node, and I'm going to create a Voronoi texture. Switch it to Chibchiv, take the distance into the height, and then I'm going to grab a color ramp and throw it down here. Normal into the normal, and oh, that's cool. Take the distance down to like 0.1. That looks pretty good. So set this to a scale of 2, and actually 2.2. Looks a little bit better. And then the color ramp, I've gone with this like gray and black, set into the height with a distance of 0.07. Now we need to have a little bit of like wear and tear on this thing. So what I might do is come over here, grab another color ramp, and with this roughness value, I'm going to copy it, and I'll paste it into the value of both of these nodes so they match. So now this color ramp is the same as this number. And I come over here and I grab a Musgrave texture, plug it into the height, and then plug the color into the roughness. And now I can take one of these guys and just set it off a little bit. So maybe a little bit wider. Take that scale and the dimension down and the detail up. I take the scale right down so it's really small. Now, if we come over here, scene world, turn opacity up. Let's pick one that's kind of dark. And we'll rotate this thing around. It's a bit more menacing like this. Yeah, that's cool. All right, what happens if we take this, Shifty, scale it down? Kind of cool doubling it up like that. Shifty again, scale it up. And there you have it. We've got some creepy alien robot cameras looking in through a window. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Learned a lot of cool things along the way. If you did, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon. You can find the full uncut version of this tutorial, which runs for a little less than an hour, and do a lot of deep dives and explore different things and experiment and make a lot of mistakes, which all get cut out for these videos that you're watching now. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Bye.
Everybody get up.